this exchange that Anthony Fauci had with Michael Smerconish on CNN, literally, I couldn't believe it. I was actually, kind of like I say sometimes on CNN, I'm glad they brought it up, but the way that they let him get away with this, he gets asked about the efficacy of mask wearing, because right now there's this whole new, COVID might be on the rise. We might have to go to all these mask protocols. I'll show it to you, and then I want to discuss it because, as I said at the opening, I literally think he called. It was like, Kamala, can I borrow a word salad? Because I got to make one up on TV. And this is what he said. Take a look.
Brett Stevens in The Times talked about Cochrane. Put that on the screen. The most rigorous and comprehensive analysis of scientific studies conducted on the efficacy of masks for reducing the spread of respiratory illness, including COVID-19, was published last month. Its conclusions, said Tom Jefferson, the Oxford epidemiologist who is the lead author, were unambiguous. There is just no evidence that masks, make any difference. He told the journalist Mayan Demasi, full stop. But wait, hold on. What about the N95 masks as opposed to the lower quality surgical or cloth masks? Makes no difference. None of it, he said. Well, what about the studies that initially persuaded policymakers to impose mask mandates? They were convinced by non-randomized studies, flawed observational studies. How do we get beyond that finding of that particular review?
Yeah, but there are other studies, Michael, that show at an individual level for individual. When you're talking about the effect on the epidemic or the pandemic as a whole, the data are less strong. But when you talk about as an individual basis of someone protecting themselves or protecting themselves from spreading it to others, there's no doubt that there are many studies that show that there is an advantage.
Whoa. Like I don't know where the bouncing ball is anymore. There are individual studies that do the individual. There's an efficacy of the mass. There's many other studies. The part of this before that got played was him saying it's not debatable. And then he puts the study up and says, well, the most comprehensive study says that it's not true. Oh, well, that study, I'm talking about the smaller, less important studies say something completely different. Fauci loves to talk because he's so used to no one challenging him. And here's Michael Smerconish kind of going where, I'm sure at the end of CNN, folks were like, you weren't supposed to do that to Lord Fauci. But the idea of this study saying this is the most comprehensive, it shows that, and by the way, the other part of it says, what about the N95? Nope, nothing there either. These guys are so bought into it, they can't possibly know that they were wrong. They tell us to follow the science until the science differs with their talking points. It's crazy, but you can't decipher anything that he just said. It was absolutely crazy.